much in between, things we've never seen. You're a mirage that my mind can't see through. Are you here with me? One day we can see. And all my life, unbroken ways, but I know that time makes ways. But I know that time makes ways. And all my life, unbroken ways, but I know that time makes ways. But I know that time makes ways. Yeah, I know that time makes ways. All my life, unbroken ways, but I know that time makes ways. But I know that time makes ways. And will my life be there one day? All I know is frozen waves, but I'm hoping time makes ways. I'm holding on to the image of you, live from far away, information highway. You're a mirage that my mind will cling to, though you're far away, we can make a way. All my life, unbroken ways, but I know that time makes ways. Yeah, I know that time makes ways.
Why intensely sends it to the outside. He can't get there. Kevin King is going to win the Bar Bissell FTF Cup Series.
Into the lead. Bud gets wrecked in front of the pack. He saves it. 3-4 wide as they come to the white flag.
Here comes Vargas down on the apron. They are 5 wide. Ian Plash will win it at the line. Is this package? Oh, there goes Jordan Lopez Jr. That's your race leader. Caution flag is out.
Still no one willing to give up as they're going to be dead even off of the first chicane.
Oh, he saves it. What's going to happen here? Here comes the canvas. Oh, get your front gear.
He's got it. He's got it. Get there. No.
Canvas is in.
It is the place for North American short course off-road racing. It is Crandon International Raceway. And appropriately, it hosts our season finale as we get ready to watch round 5 of the iRacing Short Course Regional Series. You'll see it all live here on FTF.gg. I am Joe Peak, and joining me in the booth is the voice of off-road, Dave Arnold. Behind the scenes is our producer, Zach Johnson. They're just wrapping up the qualifying now, and as we said earlier in the season when we visited Crandon Short, this is almost a mecca for these drivers, Dave.
Oh, I mean, this is the big house. Of all places you got to finish a season, it's got to be Crandon. You know, Fall Crandon has always been such a huge event in the big world, you know, of short course racing. Red Bull Sunday always brings excitement. Well, this finale, I think it's going to bring that excitement.
And unfortunately, it won't be due to the championship because Winiecki has unofficially claimed that with the drop week, he has too many points that he can be caught right now. He is here today, so I'm glad to see him at least come out to see if he can claim one and maybe be our first two-time winner this season. It's Oliver Golding, Cross Kirchmeier, and Cole Fisher who are fighting for second place. And you can see Oliver and Cross are incredibly tight out there for that P2. Only 1 point between them coming in. So it's practically who finishes in front of the other here today on who comes away with it in the fifth race. But like we said, one of the big talking points is, can we get a repeat winner, or will it be all 5 races see a different feature winner each time? And right now, Kody Winiecki is our quickest driver on the track in qualifying by about a quarter of a second over Cole Fisher, who I believe in the 9 here is just about to, excuse me, no, this is not Cole Fisher that we've got out here. This is this is actually Kody Winiecki that we've got on screen right now in the 9, and he is just finishing up his last qualifying lap.
You know, I'm pretty stoked to see Kody out here. I mean, he's pretty good, he's got it wrapped up, but to get out there, it's like, you know, I hate to say it, you know, the quarterback taking the knee, the intentional grounding to take the win. Well, you know what? He's going to go out there and show him why he's going to win this series. All props to him on that.
I mean, that's a true racer right there. He knows that he's got it wrapped up, but he wants to go out and race anyways just to see what he can do. And Kody comes down into Cowboys hairpin, take it a little bit wide as you see a lot of trucks do normally, and then launch it down towards Potawatomi turn 1. And like I said, he already has that fastest lap, so he doesn't need to necessarily do this last flyer, but he's going to take it anyways as he comes past the barn and into turn 2.
Man, I love how he's pitching that just sideways. He comes into the barn turn. Really smart setting that truck up to fly through there. I mean, with the realism of this sim racer is just mind-blowing to see. These are how the trucks race in real life, and it's great to see everything that's done to keep these things true to the physics of these Pro 4s.
Certainly, and like we said earlier in the season, they've had a few updates recently, which certainly make them all the more fun here with some of the bodywork flying off. That last lap looks like, unfortunately, it did not count for Kody, so he must have touched a wall somewhere that deleted that lap. So instead, we come a little bit farther back to one of our drivers heading down into turn 2 themselves now, trying to make out who we've got. This is the number 202 that we have currently sliding his way through, Colton Buchanan, and he's the last driver that still needs to set a time.
That thing's looking shiny. He's got that mirrored chrome look going on with a little bit of green tinge. Looking good. I'm not seeing the times yet. We're going to see what he's got coming around here, but it's going to be curious to see.
He crosses the line. First lap that actually counts for him. Actually jumps him pretty far up. He goes to 17, so that was important that he got that one in.
Yeah, he looked very smooth getting through there. You know, he's got to pick it up a little bit. The first lap, he's figuring it out. You know, that's the thing of great about the regional series that we got going here. You're seeing a lot of guys, the more lap times, the more laps they get, the more seat time, as we like to say, the faster they get.
Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to take that fourth and final lap, and that means that our grid is set for various heats. And if we start off with the first one of the night, it's going to be Thad Countryman, who is our pole sitter on the regrid. Kody Winiecki gets slotted down into second with that reverse of the top 2. Aiden Irvin will start third with Wes Graham in fourth. Colton Buchanan will be P5, and then Austin Bolson in 6th. Dennis Crosby starts 7th. He'll be followed by Brockhammer and Nathan Ramsey. Again, they do a land rush start here, so they're going to be started in one line across as they fly down from the Cowboys hairpin towards Potawatomi turn 1.
Well, it's going to be curious to see if Winiecki's just going to throw all caution on the wind at this one and just try and get out front and run away with this. But, you know, Countryman, you know, he's got the pole. Let's see what he can do with it.
And it's going to be 4 laps this race. Only the top 3 will advance. Let me double check on that. Yes, 3 will go to the feature automatically. We will have drivers who will get another chance with a last chance qualifier to make it through. So it's not the end of the world, but it makes life difficult. And as we heard Dave mention, getting the whole shot here could prove important for Kody Winiecki. The good news is he's going to be towards the inside despite that regrid. He's going to be flanked by Thad and Irvin. So looks like the start sequence is now starting as the engines are starting to rev. Let's see who can get this started off on the right foot here for our first race of the evening. And there is the green flag. It's a very good start for Kody. He's got a nose just ahead.
And here they go to get ready to that Potawatomi, turn number 1. And it looks like Countryman's got a good one there, but look at this, Winiecki on the outside, door to door, as they fly through the Red Bull arches. Oh man, nice crossover. Winiecki looks like he's got the lead, but here comes Thad.
Thad's going to get a nose right back in front of him, and they are racing very close to one another, but Thad gets a little bit crazy off the jump there, has to catch the truck. He's going to go in a little bit shallow in comparison, but the side-by-side battle rages on. He'll start to finally fall back as somebody almost goes around behind him, but it looks like they're going to stay pointed forward.
Yeah, great lines coming through there as they go with that Polaris Flyway, then across the finish line or the line there. You can see it looks like, what is that, Hammer getting up in there? Side by side as we're seeing in the camera. But you can see the top 4 pretty much on a groove.
Yeah, Hammer currently still back in 6th position right now, but Kody leads this group now single file finally as they head towards Cowboys Hairpin. Thad fully behind him at this stage is in the mid-pack. Quite a bit of battling, a little side-by-side there between Buchanan and Crosby, but Crosby looks like he's managed to eke ahead.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Buchanan, he didn't get that 4th qualifying lap, but looking pretty quick, 6th and 4th. Unfortunately, sitting right on the bubble on the outside, I should say, not qualifying.
That's a good point. Yeah, Crosby really is his main concern here. He wants to try and get by him, and he's trying everything. In fact, he got a great launch there, but it looks like he's going to have to finish it up here through the gravel pit with an over-under threatened by Crosby, who cuts back underneath, but he doesn't get the run.
But Buchanan will have that inside line coming around that final turn, Calamity corner. So they come, you can see a little bump from behind. Could change that position just a little bit, but it's allowing Countryman, and it looks like Winiecki to pretty much walk away as these two battle.
Yeah, they're loving this fight behind them. That saves them a lot of woe here, and Buchanan still currently ahead of Crosby despite that touch from behind by the 22. They're going to continue to fight. This time it is Buchanan with the advantage there down into Cowboys Hairpin. That's how it was last lap. Let's see if you can keep it this way as they slide through the corner. And yes, once again, the 202 will remain ahead.
Yeah, it looks like Buchanan got a great line through there. He looked like he's just trying to fill the fast line. They're going to come back down through that Forest County Potawatomi turn number 1. And this is where it's going to get interesting as they start heading to the gravel pit. I'm going to be curious to see what the line's going to be there. The question is Crosby get back up close enough to get this battle for Buchanan to really battle for that final transfer position?
Indeed, I feel like Crosby's trying his darndest. He's had a few goes at it. Nothing's really stuck, though, since he's been overtaken. But he has had some savvy moves. That was another look down the inside into gravel pit, but he stays behind. So Buchanan will stay in that transfer spot for now, and we're halfway through this race.
And you can see a great shot through that McCoy start-finish line. And you can see one of the things, too, is you can see the lines he's taking. You know, I'm thinking Buchanan's starting to drive a little bit over his head. So we're going to see. He's still got a couple laps here. Can Crosby do it? But Buchanan, man, he's keeping that thing going.
He's keeping himself out of arm's reach as they use the berm just a little bit. Now, we saw back at Wild Horse that some of the drivers tried to do that there into, I believe it was turn 1, and found the car braking sometimes. So I wonder if that is something that they maybe only have to do sporadically to avoid from damaging the suspension.
Well, that's a good question because you did see it a lot. That turn number 1, that wall took out that right front suspension a few times. Now they're playing off the wall here because they hit that Cowboys hairpin. So you got to wonder the constant contact, and if you just hit it wrong, you could cause damage. Winiecki with a great line through the gravel pit as he gets ready for the Polaris flyaway.
Big jump, that one, that leads you right down into Calamity Corner. But he's been controlling this one. He comes to the white flag, 1 to go, with a few car lengths over Thad Countryman, who hasn't really looked too fussed to try and threaten him here.
I think Countryman knows he's in a qualifying position. Second's not going to be too shabby, especially as we see these fast times and they come into the invert. That's where it's really going to come into play.
Yeah, the main group, the main event sees the top 8 inverted. So yeah, he won't be too sad about seeing Kody kind of run away with this one because he knows he's going to wind up starting in 8th as it stands right now. So over the whoops they go down the very fast backstretch. They get over 100 miles an hour here before they start to turn into Forest County, Potawatomi turn 1.
Man, Thad Countryman really likes that inside line. He was just keeping that nose right up against that wall. You got to wonder, that could come out, and I've seen it bite drivers in the past.
Absolutely. You don't want to hit that inside wall because it can certainly grab you and tip the car around in a way that you don't want to at such a high speed. But now it's extended even further. Kody away by about 1.5 seconds over Thad Countryman. Our current champion is now also your current winner for this first heat race. Countryman comes in second, and Buchanan will hold off for third, but behind them, Crosby and Irvin side by side across the line.
That was a great run there. The top 3, though, they're right in that position that you want to be. You're going to the dance.
Exactly. So 4th on down, you will see them again in the last chance qualifier. Everybody above that will head off to the final. We won't see them until then. And then we go to the second heat here. Matthew Lindy is going to be in the first spot on this grid with Cole Fisher to his outside. Cross Kirchmeier will be P3, and then Brent Smith 4th. After that, it's Dustin Price in the 5th position. Matt Lippman starting in 6th, and Mike Leroy 7th. Last 2 going to be Jake Hill and Dane Culver of your 9-truck field here today. Just about have all of them out there. I think we're still waiting on Culver to line up, and then we'll be ready to go for this second heat. And certainly starting to recognize a few of these names more and more across the dirt spectrum. Lindy, I believe, took a Rallycross League championship just a few days ago.
Oh, very nice. I mean, I guess, rally guys translate pretty damn good to short course. They used to driving all-wheel drives and sliding in the dirt, so I could see that being a big advantage coming into this.
It looks like they're all revved and ready to go now, and the green flag is out. It's a pretty good start there for Kirchmeier in the 75, but he's being outdone by Cole Fisher as somebody gets very loose, goes way to the outside. They're going to be 4 wide through the corner.
Yeah, it looks like Jake Hill got pushed out the 75. Up and over.
Kirchmeier hits a tractor tire. He'll get it on the right side, but the car looks too damaged to continue.
Boy, that's reminiscent of Myers Spaccarelli this last year at turn number 1 in his Pro 2.
Thankfully, this one being just virtual, everybody's able to come away with it laughing without worrying. So as we come down into Calamity Corner, Cole Fisher is leading Matthew Lindy, but not by much. It's a bit of a traffic jam behind them for that 3rd spot. It's Leroy, Smith, Lippman, and Price all squabbling for 3rd.
And it looks like Smith, sitting right outside the bubble again. Let's see, I know he had to race, try to get into it, and he went to LCQ. His brother made it last time. Let's see if he can get up there. Leroy, though, having some good lines there as the top 2 are just running away with this.
They head down into the Cowboys hairpin. Look at them all try and take it as deep as they dare. Great run from Lippman. I think he's going to be able to get by Brent Smith as they're side by side. Brent's going to be to the inside, though, as they come to the right-hander, as they bang doors a little bit, try to lean on one another. Good respect given. Nobody's pushing each other out of the way. Now it's over the Red Bull gate and into turn 2.
He was trying to give him a little bit of shoulder, making him go a little wide there, trying to take up that race line. Didn't pay off him, but he's still got in that inside line. It's where he want to be. Moved out of it. Let's see if he goes to the outside. Oh!
Yeah, Lippman got shoved a little bit, and that sent him into Leroy. But Smith is still going to fight him hard for that one. They're starting to get the elbows out in this group behind them. Dustin Price says, thank you very much for leaving the inside open. We're going to go 3 wide.
Oh, my goodness. Lippman, Smith, and Price all battling it out there. Bill right behind him watching it unfold in that 170 signature propeller machine. Oh! on the bike there on Price.
I thought maybe I saw the wheel disconnect a little bit there, but it looks like it reattached, so that was a little bit of net code on that damage. But he's seen a few body parts start to shed from that truck, and that 15 is not looking too great. He did clip the wall as well across the start-finish line as he gets hit by Jake Hill and then slammed again. And ahead of them, we once again go between Leroy and this time Lippman, who used this move, but this time it looks like Leroy is going to say, no, you cannot shove me around.
He's definitely throwing the elbows right back at him there. Oh, contact there. Lippman with a big land on him there as he continues to let know he's there.
And Smith is taking big advantage of this one, gets a 2-for-1 deal down through turn 2 and through the gravel pit. He is now your advancing driver into third, but over the radio race control has asked them to clean it up a bit. So this has been a good show, but I think they want them to maybe lean on each other a little less.
And it looks like they're bringing the shoehorn out there. It looks like Leroy is trying to battle it off there with Lippman again. Lippman just trying to just keep that throttle down, and you can see he just takes that turn right away from him.
Down.
I bet race control is going crazy right now.
Yeah, they just gave them another warning. We'll see if they can make it to the checkered flag, if they're going to get a black flag from them, because they've now heard from them twice over the radio. They are separating, so it looks like maybe they'll be able to finish up this race successfully. And Brent Smith, man, what a battle that was to get him into a transfer spot. As we check in on our leaders now, Fisher and Lindy.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Fisher is just running flawless at this point. Lindy is right there. If Fisher makes a mistake, man, it's right. It's going to be. But you know what? You're in a qualifying position. And hate to say this, think about that, the invert. You know, if you're in a qualifying position, you actually want to be a little lower in it. I know they're going to take the faster of the guys and switch it around that way, but I think second, third is just a sweet spot.
That's a good point. As they come through Calamity Corner now, Fisher takes the white flag, 1 to go, just trailing one another through there. And now the back and forth. Whoa, that was a lot of berm there from the 155, but he'll get away with it. I was afraid he was going to tip the car over, but bicycling it worked out for him.
Oh, yeah, getting on the bike and pedaling just a little bit, but got it back down. Here they go, the final lap into Cowboys hairpin. Beautiful line there. You can see the different thought processes there. You can see Fisher goes in a little deeper and then goes out wide, where Lynn was trying to get in there and stay that middle line.
Yeah, I love that it opens opportunities, especially with that little bit of banking to the outside to kind of invite you to maybe take it and get that launch off of it. But Fisher has the advantage, and with just about 2 corners to go here, I don't see Matthew close enough to try and challenge. They head into gravel pit, both of them right up to the cushion on the outside where they've got that little build up on the racing line, and now into Calamity Corner. The 155 looks like he is going to win heat number 2 today across the start-finish line. Lindy will advance from second, and Brent Smith ends up farther ahead from his rivals than I think we would have anticipated. There's nobody around him.
Yeah, I mean, with all that beating and bang going on there, Brent just was smart to stay out of it. And look at him, he qualified.
So Lippman and Leroy will have to head on to the last chance qualifier. Jake Hill unable to catch them up. He finishes in 6th with Price and Kirchmeier rounding out the rest of the fields. And there you can see your results on the screen. And that is the first 2 heats. We'll have 2 more to go before we get to the last chance qualifiers. We're waiting on Kirchmeier, I think, to finish, and there he goes across the line now. So that's not good for Cross. Remember, he's in the battle for second in the championship. He's going to have a hard time on that one. The third heat sees Daniel Solo and Timothy Messimer starting first and second. Then it's Colton Burns in third, and Patrick Solari, who comes off a win last week in the feature, to start from fourth here today in the heat. It's Christian Noble fifth and Solomon Borschinger in sixth. Then it's Jeremy DeWett in seventh and Richard Swavely in eighth. And Race Control got on to the radio one more time just to ask people to try not to race quite as messy in this one.
Yeah, keep throwing those elbows and they're going to catch you each time on it. But You know, that's what sometimes, you know, you guys are fighting, you know, for a qualifying position, and it gets a little heated. Even in a sim wreck, kind of lose your head sometimes.
For a second, I thought Colton Burns' red truck there was supposed to be like a Ferrari spoof or something, but I guess it's a Yokohama Tires, I think, thing that he's got on the front there. Anyways, I think they're ready to go. Yep, and it looks like the engines are now starting to rev up as the flag is held aloft. And the green flag is out. Once again, second driver seems to really be getting the best shot here. Which makes sense that since they're usually the fastest driver, this time it's Messimer in that position. He's going to be just a little bit clear, but they're going to bang off of each other a little bit before now they fly into turn 2.
And an impressive start, I got to say. Everybody's going to be up in this fight right now. And look at the top 5 drivers already starting to battle it out there. This one is going to take a couple laps to stretch them out.
Absolutely. I mean, that's some great respect shown, but they're also not separating like you said, so they're still side by side, too deep at the front of the field. Now finally been able to pull ahead. Messimer is in front of Burns. DeWitt, the last one in the transfer spot, but not for long. He's overtaken by Patrick Solari, trying to back up his win.
Yeah, Solari is saying this isn't a fluke. I can get up there and I can run with the best. You know, he's got that big win already. Let's see if he can keep it going and get it up there again.
He admitted as much after the race that having that track position was a big part of it for him, and he doesn't have that here today, so now he's going to have to get his elbows out a little bit and try to see if he can get ahead up in front of him, way down to the inside for Burns, who almost manages to pass Messimer instead of being able to attack those front two. Solari has DeWitt trying to challenge him, but the 38 cannot get side by side completely.
Yeah, that was a great move by Burns trying to go in there. He was thinking outside the box. He's really changing those lines up, really running down low. I'm kind of liking this. You know, Messimer's not pulling away from him, but look at the battle. Solari now getting hounded by DeWitt, and that is the last qualifying position. This is going to be interesting. Solari, his pride on the line. DeWitt trying to get underneath him, but I think Solari's going to have a good line.
Yep, he definitely launches off that corner way better, and now DeWitt's actually on the back foot with Daniel Solo catching up to him. In fact, he's going to give him a little bit of nudge, but was that Solari actually hitting the inside wall? And that's Noble who definitely hit it.
Yeah.
He got turned around. I'm not sure what caused that. I was so distracted by the red number 992, I think, clipping the inside. I think he's going to get away with it, but we've seen that actually turn trucks over in the past.
Oh, yeah. You hit that concrete, it just kind of basically stops the front end and everything rotates behind you.
Way deep into the corner by Solari. DeWitt can't really take advantage of it. He's not going to get off the corner as quickly. Solo still following them. It's a 3-car battle to decide who is able to go through to the feature. So it's these 3 trying to get it settled out. It's not as frantic as we saw last time, but it certainly looks like they are very eager.
Yeah, Solari going off that turn, though, I'll tell you, man, that truck is just bouncing all over the place. That could cause a problem. Got to keep an eye on it. Look at this. DeWitt looking low, trying to do a little slide job.
Almost gets it done, too, but the 992 managed to put his truck there. Oh, but he shoves his rival into the wall. I doubt he meant to intentionally, but that was almost catastrophic. And Solo picks them both up. He's now into third.
Oh, Solo was right. The perfect move when they came through. He saw these two going door to door there, saw the door open, slid it right down there. Oh! Takes him all the way to the wall. Solari, DeWitt battling it out there. DeWitt got the worst end of that one.
Well, I didn't think the first one was intentional, but now Solari's making me question that call. DeWitt, I have to imagine, has got to be fuming under there twice. He gets shoved out into the outside, once into a wall, once into a berm.
Well, we're going to see how this is going to play out here as they go back in the Forest County Potawatomi turn number 1. And a great onboard shot, just keeping his nose right up against the wall.
Trying to shorten that as much as he can. He likes that inside line as he goes in shallow into the corner, but you can see the difference between himself and Solari, who kind of goes a little bit wide there. Now, as they come around into gravel pit. They're going to get the white flag here, and the more they fight with each other, the easier a time Daniel Solo is going to have taking that transfer spot.
Yeah, Solo is not going to have a problem with that whatsoever. You can see a great shot of Messimer and Burns. Burns really got cool. You mentioned that Yokohama, skiing. I know that Andrew Carlson ran that, and of course Travis Pastrana ran that Yokohama scheme too. But that looks like it's, of course, HBI in the front of that. That's another one that Johnny Holcher, who runs in his class, is the new Pro 4. I'm sure it would be very similar to that, the HBI, Yokohama on it.
Absolutely. And he's not anywhere near to Messimer. And we've kind of seen that, it seems like each and every heat, that first and second just kind of chill and take home those positions, while third place is really the one that gives us the excitement. And down into turn 2 once again, Messimer just sliding his truck almost peacefully through these turns.
Well, Burns, I know he's raced at Crandon before. I know he was a limited buggy, I believe, or sportsman buggy, limited buggy drive, so he knows this track like the back of his hands. He's from Wisconsin. So that's why I got to give him, this guy has studied this place.
Certainly showing it today. It's been looking like a great race from him. But ahead of him, Timothy Messimer takes the win in heat number 3. Burns will get second. And Solo picks up third, while Solari and DeWitt are probably going to be more angry at one another, but certainly have got to be upset that Daniel has stolen that away.
Yeah, that has got to be just heartbreaking for him right now.
So there is your drivers that will and will not make it. Solari on down. We'll come back for the last chance qualifier pretty soon here, because we're coming up to the last heat of the night. And Cameron Magashik will be starting on the pole of this one. Golding, another one of those drivers fighting for second in the championship, will start from P2 today. Brock Smith will be P3, Joey Herbie 4th, and Nick Queen in 5th. Then it's Jason Bryant P6, Christopher McCorkle 7th, and Trey Blank will start in 8th. A slightly smaller field than what we had before, but no less fun out for the last of our heats. Let's see who can finish in those top 3. They've got a lot to live up to with those first 3 heats and the fights for P3. So the bar is high. Let's see if they can clear it. We're waiting for that clock to tick down before we get going. And yes, there we go. The clock has now reached a time, so we should see the green flag held aloft here any moment by Barney the flag man. At least we should, but I have not seen them start to rev, and I haven't gotten the signal yet, so we're being made to wait and sit. Here we go. Now we're ready to go, finally. And the engines start to scream underneath those hoods as they wait for the signal, and there it is. Green flag is out. Brock Smith going to get a decent jump there in the number 46 behind him. Drivers getting awful close to one another. Can they make it to the corner before it goes to hell?
And you can see Oliver Golding right up there in that number 70 into the mix as he tries to split the uprights between these 2 leaders here.
Magashik is going to get the whole shot. He'll pull out ahead. Battle for second between Brock Smith and it looks like Oliver Golding on the inside of him there in the number 70, coming down into the gravel pit corner. Somebody almost knocked around. That was Christopher McCorkle, who gathers it back up. They go almost 4 wide for a brief moment, but McCorkle goes off course.
And oh man, it looks like something going on with the front end there. That has got some serious damage left front, but a beautiful move by Golding as he does a slide job under Smith through the gravel pit. And you can see McCorkle is out right now. It's the battle between McGershik and Golding are battling, but you can see Brock Smith wanting to get up on that bumper of Golding.
A little bit closer this time on the second lap, with Brock Smith holding on to them. In fact, the biggest gap is between 3 and 4 that you can see there on your screen, up and around Cowboy's hairpin. Good launch from Golding, who goes a little bit more shallow, but it's not going to pay dividends this time. He'll stay about 3/10 behind Cameron.
And you can see Megaship is just smart. He went out, got that fast line on the outside, takes that path of least resistance as these 2 battle continue for that second spot right there with Golding and Brock Smith. Smith looking to the inside now, trying to get a pass on him.
just about gets there. He had the overlap briefly, but then had to fall back a little. They all three do a coordinated dance through gravel pit and come out the other side clean, but they are still separated by almost nothing, so surely someone's going to try something again.
Oh, yeah, Megaschick's got a lot of rear view. Golding behind him right there, and Smith. He's watching this battle unfold right behind him. So he's got to just say, come on, just run your lines. He's got to forget about him. Just think about look in front.
Yeah, this is helping out Cameron quite a bit. Almost little contact there between Oliver and Brock. Just the lightest of touches between them. In fact, two of the cleanest cars I think we've seen on lap 2 so far, with all body parts still on the trucks. We'll see if it stays that way, as once again they slide through Cowboy's hairpin. And these three looking mighty fast, or at least evenly matched with one another. Nobody seems to be able to do anything to one another.
Well, you know, that's a good thing with these three right now. Have run away, Bryant back, just a nice little gap back there. You know, run your race. Don't take chances. Qualify. You're in the spot. Don't take a chance like that. Smith having contact with Golding.
Just a little hello to remind him there. He's there, and she's going to give him another one just in case he missed the last one. Shoves him out wide slightly, but the 70 outguns him off the corner and is going to get his nose fully ahead by the time they get into Calamity Corner. Race now halfway through, and they're still nitpicking at one another back and forth, and as they do that, it does look like Jason Bryant might be catching slightly, but it's not fast.
Well, yeah, that's when you get into these two battling here. You can just slowly see that lead start to creep away because you're going in protection mode. You're not thinking about driving forward, not thinking about the fast line. You're thinking about, how do I fill the line so the guy won't get by me?
Ooh, that's a little bit wide there from our leader. Goldie knows it. This time he gets a very good run. He's going to be side by side, but it does look like Cameron is able to pull fully ahead by the time they get down into turn 1. This is not over, though. Golding could pull another over-under here.
Yeah, Golding's looking for that spot to open up there. I'm going to think he's going to probably try and set him up here again in the same spot. He's going to make a run up here, trying to get that inside, going to the gravel pit.
Oliver covers him off once again. Now he's looking vulnerable, though. Twice he's had to go defensive on the number 70, and he's still almost pushing him through the corner. In fact, he's literally pushing him through the corner far enough that he's going to be able to get ahead.
Yeah, it looks like Smith should have been right on his bumper to follow by. But Megaschick, he's not backing off. Got it by nose. Here we go. Oh, he's going to let him go wide. Beautiful move by Megaschick.
Wow, Cameron placed that truck perfectly. He's now back in the lead. Golding is going to have to regroup. It's the final lap of the race. Still, Smith unable to pass either of them. Has been watching this whole thing with a front row seat. This is where it all kicked off before when he went wide. This time he holds it together a little bit better, but Oliver Golding is breathing down his neck.
Oh, Oliver is not backing off the pressure. Smith, if he's smart, he'd get right up there on his bumper. Because if these two keep tangling like that, could come down to it, about 3 turns. Oh, Smith getting a little out of control.
Megaschick still ahead. He brushes the wall coming through turn 2. Now as they head towards gravel pit, another nose inside for Golding. Is he going to be able to pull this one off? He tries for the slide job. Can't quite completely get in front. Now he is. Megaschick has lost the lead with 1 corner to go. Will he give it right back at him and try and shove him out of the way? He can't get to the inside, but hitting the inside wall, Oliver Golding almost slows himself up too much. He is going to take the win over Megaschick. Brock Smith will finish it across behind them 0.8 of a second between our top 3.
Man, what a great run. I got to say, that was an impressive race. And both the Smith brothers making it to the main event.
Wow. I said that's got a lot to live up to. I'd say that definitely did it, except it was for the win this time of the heat. So there you go. Top 3 make it through, all separated by less than a second, as the rest of them will head to the last chance qualifiers, the first of which we've got right now, actually. And on the top of that grid, you're going to see Dennis Crosby on the pole position, with Jason Bryant starting from 2nd and Jeremy DeWitt in 3rd. Jake Hill will be P4. Austin Bolson 5th, Trey Blank 6th, and Christian Noble 7th. They do not invert them on this one. However, it is going to be only 2 advancing to the feature. Everybody else who does not finish within the top 2 will be parked for the rest of the night.
Ooh, that is just a rough one. I mean, top 3 was hard to swallow. Now top 2. And boy, oh boy, wait for things to get physical.
Indeed. And considering Crosby, remember, talk about getting physical.
Yes.
He's starting on the very inside there in that number 22.
I was going to point out the 800-pound gorilla in the room.
Well, maybe he can get the whole shot with him starting on the pole and be able to run away and not have to get his elbows out as much, but that's no guarantee. But he's certainly going to want to try and do that as best he can. There we go. We start to hear the engines rev now as we're ready for the first of our LCQs. The lights are up and the green flag is out. Crosby did not get that great of a start. Honestly, it's Jeremy DeWitt who gets the best run amongst them. He launches ahead of everybody, but now the 22 starts to come back at him as they fly down into turn 1. DeWitt's going to hold on to the lead.
Man, I thought for sure somebody was going to the wall. There's another one on the wall. I should have held my mouth because it did happen.
Jake Hill at the back, I think, was the one that wound up in that. So DeWitt leads Crosby. Bryant back there is the one that's on the outside looking in after the first couple corners.
Well, you got to wonder, these guys early on, they had a physical race in their heat race. Now let's see what's going to happen, how it's going to fold, because only those 2 spots right there are going to go. Do you go in protection mode or does he go for the lead?
He's trying to make himself safer, it looks like, as he got to the inside of DeWitt. But he's also going to have to play defense at the same time because Bryant is looking back and forth here, can't find a way in as they head into Argonne. Instead, once again, the 22 trying to get himself underneath. Now Bryant gets attacked by Bolson, who does manage to get a nose ahead.
Man, talk about great lines coming through there. Bolson with a beautiful move on Bryant. Getting by there. DeWitt, though, still holding on to that top position. 3 wide, battling for second right now.
And that was Bolson, who's going to get past the number 22.
Oh.
Way too sideways. Oh, no. That was Bryant, who runs into the wall in the end.
Man, that was a great run there, but he just expected to lean on somebody. They weren't there, I think.
Yeah, just got a little bit too crazy with some of that 2 and 3 wide. And now it's between Bolson and Crosby to try to decide who keeps racing tonight. Wheel to wheel down into gravel pit. The inside is Crosby. Can he finish the pass, though, as he wants to get right back by the number 25? No, they carry on.
And Bolson's going to jump right up here. Be smart now. Look to the inside. See if Crosby can get his nose up to the inside rail. That's where I would try to put it right there.
He does
Great
manage
battle.
it. Fantastic stuff. Oh, but a bit of a bad landing and some touch between them puts Crosby off the racing line. Now he's got to regroup and catch back up in front of them. Shedding more parts himself is Jeremy DeWitt, who we haven't seen have that much side-by-side racing, so I don't know why his car is losing parts. Still a battle amongst the top 3. They're catching back up to him.
Yeah, sympathy shedding of fiberglass going on. I tell you, that battle of Bolson and Crosby is awesome. Look at this, though. Bolson, his sights set now on DeWitt. Halfway there.
Austin is fast in this last chance qualifier, and he's trying to make use of it. He's not going to settle just for second and getting through into the feature. He is going to try his best to see if he can take this win off of DeWitt, but DeWitt responds. He pulls a few more car lengths away.
Yeah, DeWitt with a great line there. Bolson, you know, he's starting to drive a little angry right there. You can see he's overdriving at this point, which could allow Crosby to get back up in there. Just got to take a deep breath, kind of collect himself. He had a great run at DeWitt just 1 lap ago.
Once again, it's only 4 laps, these races, so they go by very quickly. They also haven't dropped Noble and Blank back there, who would probably love to be able to take a couple cars and make it through right up to that inside there for Bolson, flirting with that gate that they went through, and someone's on their lid in the background. That is Noble.
Noble just got a little sideways, caught a little bit of I'm going to say a little side tire action.
He winds up able to carry on, but I can't imagine the truck is in good working order on this one. over the whoops once again. DeWitt leads, Bolson in second. Crosby playing catch up on Bolson, not trying to let him get too far away, but it's looking once again like the 25 is the quicker truck.
Yeah, DeWitt's had some great lines through there. You know, watching him how he's just taking it up against the wall, using the whole course. Oh, speaking of the wall, Bolson caught a piece of that wall.
He did. That was a pretty good thwack on it too, and that changed the steering of the truck. Now he falls away from DeWitt. Again, these top two are able to go through from here. So as much as I think he wants the win, he's now pretty clear of Crosby. Gotta wonder if this is where he needs to back it off just a bit.
Yeah, that could have been bad. Crosby came in pretty hot into that turn. You know, he's trying to catch back up as these two start to run away with this one.
One to go, last lap. And that black and white machine of Dennis Crosby looks like he's slowly slipping away from chances on being able to carry on tonight. Top two fly down towards Cowboys hairpin. Bolson not looking to attack right now. He follows the racing line behind DeWitt.
Man, I tell you, I keep on looking at this track. It just looks wet to me. It looks like it is slick out there for sure.
Checking, yeah, I mean, it's 57 Fahrenheit track conditions despite 93 Fahrenheit air conditions. So it must be pretty wet out there for it to be so cool. And coming up and over the crest of turn two once again, that's got to be just miserable for Crosby, seeing his chances get farther and farther away from him.
Yeah, they're just slipping away at this point. DeWitt and Bolson just have to tip through the tulips to make it to the finish line.
Top two still close together. Will Austin play nice here and just bring it home? Yeah, he doesn't make it a tackle. He tries to maybe look to the inside, but it was a pretty safe move. DeWitt and Bolson are your advancing drivers as Crosby is shy just over a second from being able to keep racing tonight. Blank, Noble, Bryant, and Hill also are going to be done for the evening. So there's the first of our two LCQs. And, excuse me, I think that might be 3 LCQs. So we might actually have more of them. Yes, we'll have 3 of them, it looks like. This is our second now tonight. And Matt Lipman starts on the pole with Aiden Irvin in second and Joey Herbie in third. When it's Solomon Borschinger starting fourth and Dustin Price fifth. And it's Wes Graham and Chris McCorkle to round out your 7 trucks starting on this one. Well, it seems like it's becoming a bit of a theme here, Dave. When the drivers in front of you start battling, that's your time to strike.
Oh, absolutely, because that means they're going to slow down. You know, you got to take advantage of that. You got to be, primed to be in the right position at the right time to go ahead and go for that. We've seen 2 for 1 several times when these guys are battling it out.
Absolutely have, and I'm sure it's not over considering we've got these 2 LCQs and the feature later on. Someone's probably going to be able to pull a move like that again tonight if things keep going the way that they're going. Just waiting for the signal out there with Lippman down to the inside. Oh no, and he's done a false start already, so it should be a black flag, and I can confirm Matt Lippman is going to have a penalty. There goes his chances out the window before the race even starts.
Oh, man, that is a rough way to go. And you can see right now he's already causing problems slowing down there.
Yeah, I think he's trying to just stay out of the way. That actually slowed up one of his rivals quite a bit, Joey Herbie. Now he pulls off to the side knowing that there's no point in ruining anybody else's race out there. But up at the front of it, it is currently Aiden Irving who leads. Wes Graham sitting in second, although he's got a threat from Dustin Price behind him. Now as they head towards Calamity Corner, once again, just like last time, it's a battle between the top 3.
Boy, there's already a lot of fiberglass missing on these trucks, too. That's an incredible thing there. Price in the 15. He's already missing fenders on that. But Graham and Irvin, and they're in the sweet spot, the top 2. That's where you want to be.
So as they fly down into Oregon, Price falling off a little bit. Wes Graham took a peek inside of Irvin, but nothing doing. We've lost 1 truck before we even started the first lap. In fact, did we lose 2? Yeah, Borschinger and Lippman are in there. I'm not sure what happened to Borschinger. It must not have started the race.
That could have been bad. Graham kind of stalled it out there, and Price had to get on the binders to back off. Otherwise, there would have been contact.
So it looks like Borschinger may have been having connection problems. I'm hearing from the background. So that's why he decided not to race and not to cause problems out here, especially with how physical the racing has been today. A little bit of a lost fender for Wes Graham, but he carries on, just losing a little bit of face on that truck. And they go single file through gravel pit. Irvin and Graham still in the transfer spots.
Boy, this seems like a really long lap. They haven't even got it done on where these guys are battling. The last three are, a couple of races we've seen have been so close. I want to see this get up there. I want to see Graham and Price battling with Irvin.
Same here. I'd love to see them try to get on the horse here, and they do still have a couple laps to go as they fly through Argonne, and they still hold a decent margin over fourth place, which is now McCorkle, who is up 3, but that is very much overshadowed by Wes Graham, who's up 4 from the start. And looks like I just noticed that Dustin Price is right on the hood of that car.
The price is wrong, Bob.
Well, for Price, I mean, he's going to have to bid a little bit higher because he's not in a transfer position right now. He's got Wes Graham in front of him. So let's see if he can get into the main showdown, as he is going to try and get a launch off of turn 2. No, nothing doing there that time. He's still too far back to try and attack on the 008.
Man, I'll tell you, he's doing everything he can, going for every angle, shooting for every different line there. But if he starts following, you're not going to be able to pass. You realize you got to get on the binders there. He's got to, set that thing up, because you can do a nice slide job. He just left that door wide open.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's very aware of the situation on this one. Has to set himself up, but he's lost a bit. He needs to try and get himself just that little bit closer. Now he's got to worry about what's going on behind him. Dustin Price once again becoming a little bit bigger in the mirrors as they fly into Cowboys hairpin. Too deep for there from Graham.
And Price really went down low, though. I think he shaved a little bit of speed off, but not enough where he could pull away from him. Graham still going to have to push this one.
Yeah, he's not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination. They're coming to the white flag pretty soon with just a couple more corners to go. And in fact, behind the leader who we're watching here, Irving, Graham looked like he went a little bit wide into turn 2, but Price doesn't catch him like I thought he would. He'll have to stay far apart. He'll go shallow into the corner, getting very close to Wes Graham, but not touching.
I want to see what's on Wes Graham's hood now. I get to see what's on Price. I know Graham's got something up there. Look at these little quips that these guys have. Might be just the sponsor on Graham, though.
Yeah, I can't quite make it out.
Oh,
it's
Next Level.
There you go. Okay, I'm not. Are those the faces of Next Level on there? That's
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, okay, so there's the answer to that question, as a little bit of contact between himself and Dustin Price is going to put him slightly sideways, but doesn't lose him the position. Irvin continues to run away from the pair of them as they break down into the corner.
A great move. Price leans on him a little bit. Slide job underneath. Can Price hold on to it? Graham's going to get on the throttle. He's going to tuck right in behind Price. We have a new qualifying position of Price in the second.
Ooh, Price may have made an exact bid on that one, as that's going to get him through into second place. He's still going to have to fight off Wes Graham, who is trying to hound him after he managed to elbow his way past, down through into gravel pit. He looks relatively clear to the inside on a shallower line, slamming into the side of Price. Wes Graham cannot manage to get through. Aiden Irvin with a much calmer race ahead. Another hard hit into the side. This time he manages to get by. Come on down, Wes Graham. You are our next contestant into the feature race, as Irvin will join him.
Oh my goodness. I was actually thinking if he was able to slide underneath him, I get the pass, but you know what? Unfortunately, Price stepped out a little bit and left that door wide open for Graham.
I did not think that battle was going to carry on and he'd able to make that one stick, but it was a rough, but I'd say fair move on that one. He hit side to side, and there you saw our results on that one. As here is the start starting grid for the last of the last chance qualifiers. Patrick Solari on this one, interestingly, with Mike Leroy starting in second. Then it's Brock Hammer in third, Nick Queen in fourth. Richard Swavely starts fifth. Another bit of a surprise, Cross Kirchmeier in here in sixth spot. Nathan Ramsey starts seventh, and Dane Culver in eighth. Although I do not see Dane gridded up, so I wonder if we're only going to have those 7 drivers running this race. Let's watch and see what happens on the start for this one, especially for Patrick Solari, coming from a win, a feature win, back at Wild Horse, now to having to fight for a chance just to make the feature.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Kirchmeier, especially the battle he has with Oliver Golding and the points, everything's going to matter when he gets up to the main event. He's got to get to the main event. This could be over for him.
All right, engines are now revving once again, and the green flag is out. Solari's got a decent jump down the inside, but the 75 also looks very fast farther down around the outside. They'll come together down to the first turn. The 75 gets turned a little bit, and that means instead behind him, it's going to be Mike Leroy, who moves into second place.
Man, great move to leave. Start moving in there. That's something you just love. You never know what's going to happen in that first turn. That's what's so great about Crandon.
It gives so much excitement and unpredictability. Nick Queen sitting in third on the outside looking in as they're 3 wide actually for third place, and it's Kirchmeier who's trying to get in there. The 75 falls down to fourth after he was briefly in second place at the start of this race in a traffic jam down into Calamity Corner.
And Hammer looks like he moves his way up into third, but Kirchmeier gets a third, but Kirchmeier has got to concentrate now. He's got to get by Queen now. Queen gets by him in the Rockstar Machine. Leroy and Solari. There's the guys that you have to lay that laser on. You got to go after him.
Yeah, Solari's running away with it very quickly at the beginning of this race. Leroy in second, Nick Queen chasing. Kirchmeier back down to fourth behind them. Someone getting a big shove as we hop on board with Kirchmeier. He might be festive looking right now, but I'm sure he is all business.
Oh, yeah, as you see him losing a fender at that point. You had to wait to get a little bit quicker out there.
So he cracks the whip to get those reindeer running. Let's see if he can catch up to those transfer positions in front of him. He still has to pass Nick Queen and Mike Leroy to be able to carry on tonight.
Yeah, Queen, though, he's going to go into hunt mode for himself because top 2, that's all it's going. Kirchmeier's going to have to take some chances on Queen. But Queen's looking quick. He's got some good lines. The Polaris flyaway. Oh, a little bit of tag.
Yeah, that's Nick Queen, and he's going to be able to get inside. We saw a similar move before for the last chance qualifier to change the finishing order, but Queen was not able to finish the job. In fact, he hits the berm and it slows him up. Kirchmeier approaches, but he almost gets turned over by a hit from Ramsey.
Yeah, I think actually Ramsey was able to straighten him back because Kirchmeier went high up on the berm. It looks like another truck losing is that Handler. It is Brock Hammer in the Precise Motorsports Machine.
Yeah, Hammer.
Kirchmeier. Oh! Contact. Looking like a pinball out there.
Oof, and coming away with it, it is Nick Queen getting third, but that puts them way off the back of Leroy in front of them. They're fighting amongst each other for a position that won't do them much good at this stage, and they're coming to 2 to go when they hit the line. Kirchmeier still desperately looking left and right to try and get by some of these drivers, but nothing doing so far.
Yeah, I tell you, Queen and Leroy have been a handful. Now Ramsey and him are battling it out there. Look at this, looking low, 729 and Ramsey. He's getting a little bit of side action going on there. Kirchmeier gets his position back. Man, this is going to be a couple laps to go here. Oh! Contact. Ramsey into Kirchmeier.
Kirchmeier gets away from it without losing a position. Oh, but the damage was too much from Ramsey from that one. He pulls off to the side of the track, and he's done. It's down to only 6 drivers running now. Solari, Leroy, still your advancing positions. Queen needs to catch up by a second to Mike Leroy.
Yeah, I mean, this is just incredible for Solari to run away with this. Queen trying to hunt down Leroy, though. That's going to be the big deciding factor at this point. Because Kirchmeier, he's got a lot of ground to make up at this point.
It just seems a bridge too far, but we've seen wilder finishes on this one. You just don't know. There could be a mistake from those ahead, or there could be just incredible speed in this final lap from that number 75, who is just racing the parts off this car at this stage.
Yeah, the only question is, will Queen get physical with Leroy at this point? Could that give a chance for Kirchmeier?
I mean, that seems like the only chance that he's got, if I'm honest. So he is almost willing, Nick, probably, to try and catch up to that 888.
Yeah, you got to sometimes will the problem.
So as they come to the white flag, Solari 2.5 seconds ahead of everybody. A little bit wide, but it looks like a good line from Leroy, just taking a bit of an unusual one through there in the 888, and that keeps him nice and fast over Nick Queen, who has caught him up. It's down to half a second, and he's done that in about half a lap. This might actually be on.
It might be coming down to it. He's got to do that voodoo that he does.
As he follows behind him along the back stretch, coming down into the right-hander. Still at about 0.5 of a second. It'll take something miraculous from here and probably an aggressive move for him to try and make this happen. Kirchmeier looks like he is way too far away. I agree with your sound you made that it just doesn't seem like he's got enough right now, but you never know. We're on board with Queen down in a gravel pit. He sends it to the inside, but doesn't make contact. Leroy's still ahead. One more corner to go. Now he makes a touch.
And here we go. He's going to try to look for outside in. He's going to go for the inside. Oh, a little contact. Leaning on him. Who's going to get traction? Here comes Kirchmeier with a big bang there. And look at this. It's going to be Queen.
Queen steals it right at the end. Very similar to what we saw last time. Leroy on the radio, obviously none too impressed by what just happened right there, as that was stolen away from him. So it is going to be Solari who takes the win, with Queen advancing. Everybody else behind is done for the night. And we will have just a little bit of a warm-up session between now and the feature race to try and soak in those final two last chance qualifiers, which certainly were something, Dave. Man, if that's what we saw for the LCQs, what are we going to see if it comes down to the win?
I mean, this is the last race of the year. You got to reach deep in the bag of tricks. You got to pull them all out. You got to put all your cards on the table. I don't know what scenario you can come up with this, but it's going to be probably wild.
It's looking like it. It's got the hallmarks of that, the way the racing has gone. I know race control has been on the horn to them a few times. And I think I just saw, or just heard, there was a penalty for someone for the start contact. I'll try and get confirmation on who that was. Since they do this audibly, I couldn't quite hear the name as they were saying it to the drivers. But I'd be willing to bet that might be involved in our last incident that we saw there with Nick Queen. But he's already starting from last, so if he gets a penalty, I'm not sure. I guess maybe it'd be a drive-through penalty for him.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It'd probably be to me.
All right, we'll try and get some confirmation. Yeah, race control is getting ready to give us a message here, so we'll get a heads up on what all that means. And let's see, double check. Yeah, they've refreshed the track as well here for the warm up. Or excuse me, no, that was the warm up after qualifying. So that might not be the one. No, it is. Excuse me. Okay, so I had it right the first time. They have reset the track. So it has been refreshed and now back to how it was at the beginning, which means it is going to change dramatically over the course of this race. And up at the top of this race on the grid is going to be Cameron Magashik on the regrid. Colton Burns will start from second. Matthew Lindy will be in P3. Thad Countryman fourth, and Oliver Golding in fifth. Timothy Messimer will be P6. Then it's Cole Fisher starting from seventh today, and Kody Winiecki, who last time used the regrid, or who last time couldn't overcome the regrid, is going to have to try and do so again here from eighth. And then Colton Buchanan will start from 9th, with Brent Smith running out your top 10. Daniel Solo will start from 11th. Brock Smith will be 12th, and Jeremy DeWitt 13th. Aiden Irvin starts 14th today. Solari returns only in 15th this time around. Austin Bolson will be 16th, and Wes Graham 17th, with Nick Queen starting in 18th. A lot of trucks going to be out there, Dave.
Oh, that is a stacked field right now. This is going to be an incredible one. You know, it's just, we already know Winiecki. We know that Golding is going to be in second. You know, as far as the end of the season points, who's going to come in third now? Is someone going to get by Kirchmeier?
So we've got word that the penalty is for Queen. And here's interesting, has to wait 5 seconds at the start line. He cannot go.
Oh.
And Wes Graham is another one that is being given a 5-second start penalty for the same incident at the very end, making him getting themselves to transfer through. That said, okay, yeah, Wes Graham is on the second row, so he can hold. I was going to say, if you have to hold on the front row, that could be a problem here.
Yeah, that would be not fun to have someone driving up the rear bumper.
So, yeah, both drivers will start from that second row, and we'll have to sit and wait. I'm not sure what will happen. I guess they'll give them an actual in-sim black flag if they go before their 5 seconds are up, and I'm sure they'll have someone watching closely.
Is it a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or is it 1, 2,
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi? All right. Looks like we are just about ready to go here for the last race of the season. If you've had something to prove, now is your last chance to do it. And Magashik has the best opportunity to do so. A 5th different winner in these heats or in these features. Let's see, is the engines now rev 18 of these engines ready to go, and the green flag is out. The two do wait patiently back there, so it looks like they're obeying the rules, as Magashik is going to have a good shot to the inside. It's going to be 5 wide down to the corner.
Man, that 5 seconds like an eternity, but look at this. They're all running through there. That might be the only trucks that actually make it through this. Look at there. We got trucks flying all over the place in the back of the field.
Oh, and that looks to be Daniel Solo. Brock Smith also got hit down on the inside of Potawatomi turn 1. He gets it going once again, but it's a battle for the lead down at a gravel pit. Brent Smith gets shoved out to the outside. 4 wide for the lead off of there, with Colton Burns the one to come away with it. Winiecki has already made his way up to second.
And Smith trying to battle it out with McGurshik, and it looks like Countryman. And Buchanan and Fisher are battling. Countryman, oh my goodness, look at this. What an incredible start of this race.
Unbelievable. 6 positions gained, and we're just officially starting the lap now for Kody Winiecki as Fisher comes down and just a mess of trucks. Back from about 5th on down, it is 2 and 3 wide all the way back.
Yeah, that is incredible, but you look at the trucks behind him. He's looking, on the bicycle, he puts it back down, and a whole lot of trucks going sideways on him.
Good luck picking a racing line. It's wherever you can place it that there's some open space in here. Unbelievable. Burns still leads Winiecki up at the front. Countryman holding 3rd, and then Smith in P4, as this is actually the battle for the lead, almost leaning on Burns. Kody Winiecki, again, trying to become the first 2-time winner of this season.
Yeah, Burns doing a great job, though, holding off Winiecki. Winiecki looking low here, trying to set it up, coming on that Polaris flyaway. Look at this. Oh, beautiful shot there with Winiecki. Winiecki's going to go out wide, looking low. Going to go and get that nose to the inside of Burns. Can't make it happen. Burns has that inside line again.
Kody looks fast and impatient critically, because he's been just climbing all over the back of that 307. Looks for an over-under, but takes a little bit too much of the inside berm coming through Argonne. That costs him some speed.
Yeah, definitely. That was just a frustrating move. I think he's trying to just overdrive it a little bit.
So down through the Cowboys hairpin, these top 2 have pulled away from Countryman, but if they keep fighting, he could catch them back up. And let's not forget about Brent Smith back there. He is not a guy you want to give a whiff of the win.
Oh, Brent has real life experience. He drives dirt all the time. He's driven in the pro lights on one of Johnny Holter's truck. He knows his way around. He grew up at Crandon. He's also one of the announcers for the Championship Off-Road Racing Series, so he knows his stuff.
Ooh, this has been side by side for a bit now.
Oh!
Into the side of Burns. Winiecki just gives him a little bit of a tap. Now it switches directions. It's going to go off to the right side here through Calamity Corner and covering the inside. Look at that wisdom from Burns. He just knew that he was going to try and send that one up inside of him.
Yeah, definitely made it get on the biters and back it off. That rethink that line there for sure. Going through that into the Calamity Corner, out the Coy, coming around McCoy's. Man, that line coming through there as you set up, you want to be the inside because it's definitely quick.
Now they're starting to pull away from Countryman a little bit more once again as they're able to go single file once more. But how long will it stay like this? Down into the braking of Cowboys Hairpin. Oh, they almost go side by side, but they definitely go side by side behind them. Brent Smith, much better through the turn than Countryman.
Yeah, it was a good line there, but Countryman able to hold on to that position, though. You know, but watching this battle unfold here, then we got a battle for third, the battle for the lead. Oh, Countryman sends it to the inside of Smith, filling the hole.
Yeah, so Thad's going to take away that third spot as Brent's now going to have to respond, coming down into gravel pit behind them. Cole Fisher absolutely chucks the truck in there, trying to play catch up to the pair of them as well. Oh, and side by side for the lead again.
Man, when Nicky was going around the long way on the outside, there was door to door with him. And he's not letting off. He is turning the pressure up, in fact.
They fly up towards Argonne. It's uphill here, and then a left hand along the backstretch leading to the Cowboys. Hairpin, good run from Kody Winiecki. He's much closer than where he was before. Where is he going to place the truck, though? Is he going to try to get himself to the inside? Just gives a little bit of a bump to the back of Burns, and that sends him slightly wide. That gets him now up door to door with him.
That's going to be interesting. Burns will have that inside line coming through Forest County, Potawatomi turn number 1. Winiecki's going to have to slide through the inside, thinking he might leave that door open. Going for the outside, underneath the Red Bull arch. Here we go. He kicks it. Oh, contact in the middle of the air.
They're going to get away with it somehow. And let's not forget, we have a competition caution here. That is at the end of lap 5. They're getting ready to start lap 5. So they've got to save something, and they got to make sure that these trucks are fast because everybody's going to be bunched up behind them as a Nova under there from Kody Winiecki. Now brings them door to door once again down into Calamity Corner.
And Burns is going to push them a little wide there. Winiecki's going to have to tuck him behind. Winiecki wants to try and get up there. He wants to be in that lead after that comp caution. Can he make it happen before that? It's going to be questionable. He is literally all over him. Inside, outside, outside, inside. Showing him wheels. Oh, contact behind. And looks like, oh, Burns, hold on to it. Winiecki looking up the inside.
They carry on, but it's getting more messy. They keep this up. Thad Countryman could definitely catch back up from that 2-second gap back down the inside. And a swift undercut there from Winiecki. That's going to get him the lead over Burns this time.
And I think this time he's going to try and keep it, hold on to it. He's going to get his elbows out there. He's going to block all those correct lines. Burns just got to be quicker.
Into turn 2. Down the inside, Burns almost gets himself far enough that he could try and make the move, but no dice. Winiecki fends him off. Remember, competition coming at the line, competition caution coming at the line here. They want that track advantage, and not going to get it this time, Colton Burns, despite giving a little bit of a hello there down through gravel pit. Kody, with the car ahead, covers down to the bottom of Calamity Corner, and he will take the lead as the competition caution comes out across the line, and Brent Smith managed to get by Thad Countryman in that. Let's take a breath now.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how it is there. I know Colton Burns considers this his backyard, literally. So does Brent Smith. They grew up at the track there. Winiecki, man, trying to come up into their yard. But Winiecki showing why he's that champion he is right now. He's driving the wheels off of that.
Champion-elect, yeah, that number 9. is in a great position. So they're going to wave Brock Smith around to the lead lap. He's the only one a lap down. And we did get our 4 winners. So it was Mikolajic, Winiecki, Golding, Solari, your 4 that have taken wins so far. Winiecki looking the most likely there because he's leading the race to be able to take 2 this season. Let's see. Don't think, Mikolajic didn't make it into this feature. Do we have Golding out here? Yes, we do.
Yes,
and then
we do.
Solari we know is in here. But Golding sits in 9th and Solari in 7th. I mean, not impossible, but looking unlikely. Burns has not won. So if he fights back, he'll manage to make it 5 for 5.
Yeah, I know, but Winiecki's got everything to do with his pride. You know, like you said, champion-elect, and he wants to go out with a final win.
All right, looks like we've got trucks finally catching up to the back. That's Lindy and then Brock Smith. We'll see if they let that 46 get all the way to the back of them or if they're going to send them off. Usually, the restart for this is down at the Red Bull gate by
Yes.
the Red Barn. So we'll see. They should carry on to that.
Yeah, that's why it's a tradition. They're keeping with tradition. I like it. See Brent Smith just kind of sitting out there going, look at me. Hi, Brent.
I covered a charity race recently that had Daniel Morad, another real world driver that sim races. And we had a sort of competition caution in that one as well. When we got on board the pace car that was a hand-driven pace car, like a manually driven pace car, if you will, it pulled them all to a halt. So Daniel made sure that he pulled up as close as he could and then backed up and moved perpendicularly so that all of his sponsors were visible from the onboard cameras that they had. So I kind of wonder if maybe Brent's doing that a little bit here. Just get himself some extra screen time.
I remember a few drivers, they'd be in the back and then the leaders be coming up and they'll get the white flag, you know, with the stripe, or blue flag with the yellow stripe. And they're like, okay, you're not in the race. Well, they'd slow down enough and then start racing with the leaders. They would just make them incredible. But his sponsors were getting the love.
I'm sure the leaders were absolutely thrilled about that development.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it might have been a Jim Beam sponsorship on this car if you could put it together in NASCAR. He may have raced off-road in short course and desert.
I have a few ideas, but here we go. We got the restart here with Kody now up at the front, and there it is. Green flag is out for Kody Winiecki. Colton Burns going to follow him and see if he can deny him a 2-time win this season, even though he's already got the championship. As they fly down into gravel pit, Colton is close.
I'm going to see, Colton looking low. He's really carrying a lot of speed there. Little contact. He's going to take the lead for a moment here. Brent Smith trying to follow him in there. And this seems to carries too much speed here. He's going to keep it low. Oh, he left that door for Winiecki. Winiecki was not able to capitalize it, but Smith, he's lurking back there like a predator.
All this talk about whether or not Burns can manage to take this one. Brent Smith could also be a first-time winner this season as he gets underneath Kody just a little bit. This helps out Burns tremendously. He pulls away a few more truck lengths off the battle for P2. Behind them, you can also see the side-by-side between Countryman and Magashik.
They just saw Burns blinked out, net coated just a little bit. Looks like he's back solid. And you can see back there a little bit of contact with some of the other drivers. But I think our focus right now is on going to be Winiecki, Burns, Brent Smith, and Fisher trying to get up into the battle now. But you got Countryman, Fisher, and Golding back there, and Solari. Golding and Solari, 2 former winners this season.
Worth noting that that was Queen and Graham who had that penalty that we saw get into one another in the Cowboys hairpin, and everybody kind of getting checked up. They actually have done a good job. They're in 12th and 13th now, so the yellow definitely helped them out, but I think they gained another number of spots before that. As we follow, I think this is the 2 of them over the flyaway jump and down into the Calamity corner where it is still quite the traffic jam. We're down to 5 laps to go now.
And you can see the battle continues here with the rest of the pack there for 5th, 6th, 7th. So we go back up front here. You can see Burns, Winiecki, and Smith. Fisher not out of the picture yet. He's right on Smith. But look at that, Thad Countryman, Cameron, Kirchmeier. Oh my goodness.
And Fisher, just as you mentioned him, he slides by Brent Smith. He gets 4th away from him, and Smith is going to have to try and fight back as they come down through Potawatomi turn 1. This is on board with Fisher. You can see the truck start to lean a little bit midair as it bounds down back to earth up ahead of him. Now it is the battle to catch up to 2nd. See if he can get Winiecki, as he also has to fend off Brent Smith, who's still climbing all over the back of him.
Yeah, he's carrying a good speed through there. That's where you want to be. He's in that perfect line, trying to fill it. Brent Smith, there's no way to get around at that point. Unfortunately, you're going to have to force your way through here, and it looks like a little door-to-door. It's going to be Smith, but here comes Countryman up the inside. Can he get the one on Fisher? Fisher answers right back and fills the hole.
Boy, Smith just gave it right back to Cole Fisher after he got kind of shoved out of the way earlier in the lap. And now I thought they were going to do it again, but that berm slowed up Cole Fisher as behind him, you mentioned Countryman trying to hassle him. Magashik also alongside Golding.
Yeah, Golding trying to fight his way up through there. And look at this, the dive down low, the 155 of Fisher. And then Countryman looking up the inside there, but it still burns. Winiecki and Smith trying to hold off the advances once again as Fisher looks down to the inside trying to carry some speed, but Smith has that middle preferred line.
For Fisher, if he wants 2nd in the championship, this is urgent. That was a rough landing, yeah.
253 going around there. Looks like Gershik having some issues. Oh man, that's a bummer for him.
Yeah, he had a bit of a bad landing, and that put him sideways and got ran into by, I think it was Patrick Solari in that one. Whoa! And speaking of which, what an odd landing there for Countryman.
And he's able to regroup himself there, but Golding was able to get by him. Now Golding getting up there into 4th position now. And look at this. Oh boy.
This is bad news for Fisher. He's fighting with Golding for that 2nd of the championship. And with Golding even right behind him, that pretty much seals it. Fisher needs to catch back up and pass Smith as well as maybe Winiecki.
Well, Golding now going to look up the inside. He's going to definitely lean on Fisher this time around. He's going to try and fill the hole in front of him there. A little bounce off.
They're going to stay side by side off the corner, though. The 70 going to be around the outside, but that'll switch back once they get into turn 2. Look at him pinch him down, knowing that he can hold up Fisher's momentum. He'll be ahead as they fly into turn 2. Now behind them, Thad Countryman giving watch, but not close enough, slapping into the wall. Cole Fisher, unfortunately, finds himself now side by side with Thad.
Well, there's several scenarios or stories, I should say, going into here. Fisher, you talked about, battling with Golding for the points. Burns looking to be another winner in this series if he can hold on to it, hold out the advantage to Winiecki. And can Brent Smith make a podium?
Absolutely. Smith is on that podium right now. In the meantime, Winiecki back on top of Burns. 2 to go, and the battle for the lead is on once again. It's round 2 between these two.
Well, I know Winiecki's been sitting back there looking for those lines and seeing where Burns have been going, trying to see if he's left a little daylight, where he can set him up, where he can try and force that issue.
Both of them going deep down into Cowboys hairpin. Better launch from Colton. He'll stay ahead of Kody for the time being. They're about 2 seconds ahead of that P3, Brent Smith currently. And coming down into Potawatomi turn 1, a little bit shallower down to the inside for Kody, trying to shorten up the racetrack.
Well, the battle for first continues here with Winiecki and Burns, but I'm looking at this battle. It's going to start developing here with Golding in 4th as he tries to hunt down the number 45 of Brent Smith. The Smith graphics machine.
Surely he wants to try and pull that one away. He may have passed Fisher and solidified himself for 2nd in that championship, but if he could get himself a podium. Oh, and side by side for the lead, down to the inside. Burns left the door open. Kody tries to step through, can't get his foot in the door.
And Winiecki driving really smart now, filling that line. The final lap, the white flag, racing underway. Burns like a ballet with Winiecki. A little bit of contact, a little bit of elbows.
As they head down towards Cowboys hairpin, will it come to a bump and run? He's close to him. He could certainly get in the back of him. No, he's going to try and go up the inside. Goes a little bit more shallow. Edges his rival out, and it is door to door. It's a neck-and-neck race down towards turn one.
It's almost like a restart here on the land rush as Burns now falls in. Winiecki's going to look low, put his nose on the wall, slide it around. Burns still holds it under the Red Bull arch. Side by side, contact in the air.
Ooh, it's not over. He's going to be able to cut back underneath. Now through turn two, towards the gravel pit. Better launch for Kody. He's going to have the inside of this corner, but what about the next one? He sends it in deep. Colton sees it coming and cuts back under him. Slide job as he goes by, but it's a poor exit off the turn. Little bit of a better run for Kody. Are they going to hit again midair? No, they stay off of each other. Just giving a little bit of nudge through the final turn. It is going to come down to Calamity Corner as they bang off of one another. Who's got it at the end? It is going to be Colton Burns winning it by 0.06 of a second.
Oh my goodness, another win. 5 winners, 5 rounds. Colton Burns takes it. Incredible. But I got to say, Kody Winiecki, and how about that? Brent Smith on the box.
Brent's got to be thrilled with that one. Oh my goodness. For all the controversy about those last chance qualifiers and the moves down into Calamity Corner, we asked whether or not it would come down to it. It did, but you know what? I'd say that one was clean.
Oh, that was a great one. I mean, I'll tell you, none of the heat races really disappointed. We had a little bit of rough driving going there, but the main event, absolutely incredible. As we look at it again, Winiecki takes it high. Burns looks over, slides underneath him. Winiecki tries to answer back. What an incredible run.
And here it is where it came down to, and that final lap just gives him a little bit of a nudge, just enough to get him wide. Got down through. Now, I will say the officials are reviewing it. So this is our unofficial results that we're going to read you out here in a second. And up at the top of it, Colton Burns unofficially your winner by the smallest of margins. Kody Winiecki was second, and Brent Smith third on the podium from 10th on the grid. Oliver Golding managed to finish fourth, locking him down into second in the championship. Solari was P6. Great run from 15th for him. Daniel Solo was seventh, and Countryman was 8th, with Timothy Messimer in 9th. And it was Jeremy DeWett finishing 10th. Nick Queen coming from last to 11th, as Wes Graham finished 12th after him. Matthew Lindy was 13th, and Cameron Magashik 14th. Then it was Aiden Irvin, P15, Brock Smith 16th, and Austin Bolson 17th, with Colton Buchanan winding up a lap down in 18th. Let's talk to, let's see, do we have Burns with us? I do not see Burns. I do see Brent Smith, though, and Kody Winiecki. So it looks like we're going to be talking to Brent Smith first, our third place driver, and seeing how he feels about finally being on the podium. Brent, congratulations. You get to spray the champagne.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. It's been a while since I've been up on the box on any off-road series, and it feels good. And what you guys are doing is just over the top and making it really fun. And I can't thank the 906 guys back at home. My buddy Jeff's really battling a lot of hard times, and my buddy Austin. I mean, James Burke, my brother Brock Smith. I mean, everybody that puts in the work. I mean, it's finally paying off, and it got a little rough right there. I'm not going to lie. It was pretty rough, and I thought I owed him a little bit of a love tap going into Calamity, so I wanted that spot really, really bad.
Well, the good news is I just heard from the race officials that the finishing order is official on the top three, so no change from them on those last little battles. You and your brother, I mean, you have a lot of experience here with this being kind of your backyard. Did that help today?
Yeah, my brother and I, since we were young kids, we've said the story all the time, and we just really enjoy this sport to death. And We just try to study. I mean, I'm a broadcaster of Champ Off-Road with my buddy Shane, and you learn so much at an eagle's eye view of what the trucks are doing, what your favorite driver's doing. So all I can do is try to learn until I get that next opportunity to race a truck in real life. But the simulator, it keeps your brain going. I mean, it really helped me in my circle track stuff last year. So, I mean, my brother and I just love it, and he had a bad night tonight, so you never know what happens. You take what you can get.
Well, I'd say you got a good one today. Congratulations. Anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I got to thank the 906 boys and everybody that puts in the work. I got to thank Smith Graphics, my brother Brock, my buddy Austin and Al. They always are helping me on my normal race cars, and just can't thank everybody enough. HBI, Johnny Holger Racing, Yokohama Tire, and just everyone that partners with me to become who we get to be is just the fun of this sport. And we only live once, dude. And I got to give a shout out to Kyle LeDuc. I just miss him dearly, and we love that boy. And that's why we're still doing this.
I can completely understand the sentiments. And that, again, was our third place finisher, Brent Smith, here today. And ahead of him, just missing out on the win, Dave has caught up with Kody Winiecki.
Kody, what an incredible season. You know, you could have taken a knee. You could have not shown up tonight, but you showed up in an incredible fashion. The battles, what a night.
Oh yeah, there was definitely some battling going around.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the battles that you had with Colton Burns there on this. You got him a little bit, but it came down to the last couple corners.
Yeah, I had too much damage, so I was just trying to keep up with him, and then I was like, oh, I'm close enough to make a move, and try to get the move done, but he raced me hard, but it was good racing.
Well, of course, you know, second in this one, but pretty much not just the elect champion, but the champion pretty much going to be official after this.
Yeah, well, I hope so.
Well, let's talk about that season. What did you learn? What have you seen in the future? You're going to be, we're going to be seeing at the Nationals.
Yeah, we're gonna give it a shot. We'll see if we can do good at the qualifiers. Yeah, these trucks have changed a lot. Like, the damage is insane on these, so you got to be careful of what you're gonna do and make the right decisions and play it really smart.
Yeah, and that has been a big factor there. It's cleaned up the driving quite a bit, right?
Except tonight, but yeah.
Well, the other guys, unfortunately, if they're too much damage, they're out.
Right, yeah. I think it's cleaned it up a lot, though, because everyone's like, oh no, we're gonna break something.
Well, I thought it makes for some incredible racing. I got to say, great job to you, and I know you have a lot of people you probably want to thank on this.
Yeah, thank you very much. I want to thank you guys for the good season and great broadcast. You guys do a great job. Winiecki Motorsports, MFR Off-Road, my family for watching, Top Box Racing, MRT Teamsters, Polaris Racing. Thank you all.
Well, great job, Kody Winiecki. Joe, I guess we don't have Colton, do we?
We do. We've
do.
managed to drag down
Wow.
Colton and the 307 with the win here today. My first question, Colton, is tell me about that last lap, because that battle was epic.
Yeah, I mean, the whole race was just insane. From the start, I got I think it was third on the start, and everybody was hitting each other. And I just ran my whole race as best as I could, trying my blocking and all that. Probably don't have quite the speed to run there with Kody. He's a really good driver, but I had a ton of fun battling with them, and it was definitely fun to come back. I haven't raced in the series since 2020 when it started, so good to be back.
Well, I'd say this is a great way to return. It seems like with 5 different feature winners and 5 races, the parity is pretty incredible in this series, even though Kody kind of ran away with the championship itself.
Yeah, I think it's a really good proving grounds for sure. Obviously, you have the regional series and then the other series, and I think there's a lot of guys in here that are really fast and talented too. And it was a really fun time to mix it up with them, and I'll definitely be back.
Well, we look forward to having you back, and certainly have shown you deserve to be here with today's race. Anybody you want to thank before you go?
Yeah, I do have some of my personal sponsors on there. Wood Orchard is one of them, and HRI Services. As you could tell, I was running like a Johnny Holcher style paint scheme on the truck. That's kind of a teaser to our real life 2024. But yeah, that's it.
David caught it. Without as much knowledge as him, I had mused that it looked like a Ferrari, interestingly. So,
Nice Holcher livery.
well, thank you. That was Colton Burns, our winner here. 5th different winner in 5 races. What a season it has been. Dave, I can't thank you enough for joining me once again and looking forward to the National Series next year.
And Joe, what an incredible season. And I got to say, this one just put the capper on some great racing. And I can't wait to see some of these drivers, see what they could do in the National Short Course Series for iRacing.
And that will start at Wild West Motorsports Park on February 8th at 9 p.m. Eastern. So make sure and tune in for that. However, a big thank you to the organizers as well at iRacing Short Course Series for all that they do to make this happen, as well as a huge thanks to our team tonight, Dave, Zach, and Cameron. Thank you so much for watching tonight's broadcast of iRacing Short Course Regional Series. I'm Joe Peak, and I'll see you on the track.